Today we're going to be shooting the Ruger Mark III. It's a 2245 model. It does have a Bushnell. It's a TR25, I believe. Red dot scope. It really is just a dandy of a little pistol. Holds 10 rounds in the magazine. The 2245 refers to the grip angle. It has the same grip angle as a 1911, whereas just the regular Mark II or regular Mark III, the grip angle is just more of a stronger angle. Back to talking about the Ruger here. There's a lot of other good 22 pistols on the market. The Browning Buckmark is another good one. The Beretta Neo, even though it's really ugly, I've read a lot of good things about it and heard people say that it's just really comfortable to shoot. When it came down to buying a 22 pistol, it was down for me, the Buckmark and the Ruger. I wound up going with the Ruger just because it's been around forever. I used to shoot a Mark II a lot when I was a kid. The trigger, I mean, out of the box, it's not fantastic, but it's pretty good. I think it's around 5 pounds, maybe. I could be wrong though. Overall, just a great pistol. I can't advocate enough that anybody that's in the market for a 22 pistol, highly recommend the Ruger here. And not only is it just cheap to shoot, it's just a good way to work on just your basic fundamentals, you know, your stance, trigger squeeze, control, blah blah blah, list goes on and on. Just a really good good overall pistol to practice with. Alright guys, we got our eyes and ears back on. I'm going to go ahead and take some shots with the 22 here. Normally my uncle bought a Speedloader. I don't have it to show you. I went to the house and looked for it and I couldn't find it. I can't express how great the Speedloader that we got off eBay is. If anybody's ever loaded or shot a Ruger Mark II, Mark III, or Mark I, you know that this little button right here can be really crucial on your thumb. Because when you come out and shoot a 22, chances are, with us at least, we normally shoot 500, 1,000 rounds at a time. And repetitively pulling this little, I don't know what you would call it, this little tab right here that holds the spring down in order to load the bullets into it. It's just over time, and it just really takes on your, takes a toll on your skin. It'll be rough raw. Next morning you'll be wishing you'd used the Speedloader. In another video, I'll have the Speedloader and I'll show you guys how it works. But here we go. We'll shoot a couple shots here. Normally my uncle has another 22 pistol just like this, but his is a stainless top with a fluted barrel. And well, that's actually where this rail came from. My 22, I bought it from budsgunshop.com out of Lexington, Kentucky, and it was supposed to come with a rail. Of course, naturally being a blued model, it should have came with a blued rail, but I guess Ruger took it upon themselves to send me neither. But nevertheless, I ordered another rail, a blued one. It's actually in, and before I came down here today, I couldn't find it at the house, so I'm using Mike's stainless one. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but basically gets the job done. Anyway, here we go. We'll shoot a couple more shots here, and we'll see. I would like to say that I've only had this red dot maybe, I don't know, I've only took it out maybe a couple times now, 2-3 times, shooting it. Really a phenomenal red dot. I kind of tossed up the fact of going and getting a Burris Fastfire, which runs right around 200 to maybe 220, 230, depending on where you find them at. This Bushnell, I got it from Amazon. I believe it was $75. Shipping and all, I think I had maybe right around 85 bucks in it, tax and all. I wanted to go with the Burris instead of this Bushnell. Basically, the Burris is a lot smaller. They do make, let me see here, you can drift out your rear sight into this dovetail. Some of you probably know what a dovetail is. Others that don't. It's basically just a little groove that your, I don't know if you can see it there. It's just a little groove that your rear sight sits in. You can basically drift this entire rear sight out. You drift another one back in, and what it is the base that, instead of having a rail like this, the Burris would have basically a little small mount that you, like I said, you drift into it, you mount it to it. I wanted to go with the Burris, but in the end it was going to be around, say, $220 for the red dot, and then I think the mount, depending on where you get it, that's roughly maybe $40. And I only gave $275. I think after taxes I gave like $280 some or $290 some, because buds.com ships it for free. I really didn't want to have the same amount of money invested into a red dot, so I just went ahead and went with the Bushnell. You can go to opticsplanet.com, Amazon, I think Cabela's sells them. A lot of places you can read the reviews. Most people don't have anything bad to say about them, nothing but good. The one thing I can criticize about it is the dot. Now, if any of you have ever shot an Aimpoint or an EOTech, any of your other high-end red dots, even the Burris is supposed to have, just as any more of the expensive red dot, typically, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll try to show you here. Yeah, you'll never be able to tell, but basically, if you were in person and you were looking at this red dot, and some of you may know, those of you that bought maybe a cheaper red dot, this would be considered a cheaper red dot. The dot's just not like perfectly round. As like in an EOTech, Uncle Mike has one on an AR. I'm not for sure what reticle it's called. It's just like the circle with the dot in the center. The circle and the dot are all just perfectly smooth and round. On this Bushnell, it's pretty close, but it's kind of just, you can see where the pixels or whatever they would be called put together just really don't make a completely round one. Other than that, though, it's been a great one. And I did want to say that when we put this on, like I was explaining to you a second ago about the rail here, me and Mike and my cousin Ben were out here a couple weeks ago when I first got it. We put it on and we didn't have any paper targets set up to zero it in on. And I asked Mike, I said, what do you think the chances are of us just sticking this on here, putting the screws in the top of it, putting the red dot onto the rail, and it being zeroed in? And we all basically thought, you know, that's pretty wishful thinking. Actually going to be zeroed in, just screwing it on. Now we put it on, and surprisingly enough, it hit. I haven't really got a chance to zero it in. I have shot it though to see where it's hitting, and it's hitting a little bit, just a little bit low to where you're holding on. So when you see me today shooting, or if you have seen any of the other videos we have, basically I'm somewhat compensating for where I know to hold. Other than that, someday, here if the weather permits, I'll be back and I'll come out, and that's how off it is. Nevertheless, I will try to hit it. Here we go. Alright, here we go. This is 25 yards. Now I do want to talk to you a little bit about the 2245 model, the Mark III. The Mark II, go ahead and turn this threaded off to save my battery. The Mark II and the Mark III are really close to the same pistol. Like I said, the Mark II you won't be able to get this grip angle with. It'll be a lot just a stronger of an angle. but they're really a similar pistol. Ruger with the Mark III. Turn this around here just so you can see it. In order to appease states like California and other states that their gun laws are a little more strict. If you can see here, once again, before I aim it at myself, we'll tell that it is unloaded. They put in a magazine disconnect safety, and what that means is that once the magazine is out of the pistol, when it's out, it will not fire. But with it in, you can see this is an empty one. Stick it in here, drop it down, and you can see that once you pull it, it will fire. But if you drop it out, it's empty. Pull it back, you can see when we pull it, no click. I really don't prefer that. That's the way it is. And it is possible to remove that disconnect safety, but any of you that do have the pistol, I just want to go ahead and tell you that if you do take it out for some reason later down the road, your pistol, it does malfunction. You have to send it back to Ruger. I've read that once Ruger sees that that's removed, they'll basically just reinstall it again, so you have to do the process over again. It's just a personal preference whether you like it in or without. I just assume without. Some say that if you do remove it, it will lighten the trigger pull. I'm a little skeptical about that. I'm not for sure if it actually will lighten it at all. They're basically, in theory, they're saying that just it's one less moving part that's rubbing together inside the pistol that would create a lighter trigger pull. But if it does, it maybe does. I don't think it would, but to each their own, I guess. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just an average schmo out here on a farm in Kentucky shooting a pistol. Anyway, I'll load up a couple more rounds here and I'll come back and we'll shoot a couple more. Alright, I got a couple more magazines loaded up here. Excuse me. Before I shot again, I just want to kind of go over and give a close-up view of the pistol. You can see here. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out. If you do buy this, if you go online to look for a Ruger Mark III model, or a Mark II for that fact, there will be a plethora of different kinds of models. This is just your standard, I think it's 5 or 5 1/4. It may be some oddball size, but I think it's 5-inch. Just a bull barrel. It has no fluting. They do have a slab side barrel, a fluted barrel, but and they do have different models as far as the grip panels go. Now, like I said earlier, this is a 2245. It has a 1911 grip angle. And this right here, if you can see these screws here, you take that off and you can take this panel. And I believe in the model name and number of this, I think RP is at the end of it. And I believe that, I could be wrong, like I said, I don't claim to be an expert, but I believe that stands for replaceable panels. And basically, these grips right here, these panels, you can remove those off and you can put any, I shouldn't say any 1911 grip that is the same, just standard 1911 grip length. You do have your safety here. It's fire, down for fire, up for safe. This is your bolt release. Maybe you can call this, see if it's locked back. You push it, I'll show you again here. You pull it back, and you push up just like any other pistol, and release it. Bolt release. This is your magazine release here. Of course, your trigger. And the rear sights on these do come from the factory. Now, I'm not 100% if all the models come with adjustable, but it is adjustable for windage and elevation. Your front side post, if you chose to remove it, just has an individual screw here. Take out. Probably should take it out maybe to look a little better. I will be honest that the rail that it comes, that the Ruger comes with, it is really blocky and ugly. I don't care a lot for it, especially for a micro red dot like this. There's really no need to have that long of a rail. I guess in theory you could cut this here and shorten it a bit. Maybe I will do that someday. If I do, maybe I'll make a video, maybe not. But this is pretty much a close-up of it. Oh, and I do want to point out that if anybody is in the market for this pistol, go ahead and plan on wanting to throw the piece of shit away, break it, crush it when you try to clean it. You will get the hang of it, and it's not as bad as you first think. The first time that as soon as I bought it, it had a good bit of osmoline grease, the packing grease that they come with. I broke it down and I just tried to go by the manual. And some of you may think, yeah, well, do you have to read the manual? Well, it's not as simple as breaking down a Glock or a Springfield or a Beretta M9, any of the others that basically have a tab or a button and you have the hammer cock bag, slide it off. It's nowhere near that simple. I will make a video one day to show you how to break it down. It starts back here and yada yada yada. There's a whole bunch of steps, but I have moved up a little bit. I'd say I'm about 6 yards from the plates here. Here we go. We'll shoot a couple more shots here. It may help if I had the red dot on first. Alright, that was a failure to fire. I think you should wait a second or two. I have heard instances that if it hits the primer and doesn't fire, there is a chance that it still could go off. I've never had that happen, but I guess better safe than sorry. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out with this gun, it's very, very, very reliable as far as feeding. It has been a long time since I've cleaned it. I mean, I've shot thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds for this pistol. Typically, you never have any hiccups. The ammunition, I'll turn this around and zoom in so you can see it here. And the ammunition I'm using today, I had to get it from a gun store that's next door to my work. I don't know if you can see the box. It's Remington Thunderbolt's what it is. It's basically the cheapest, shittiest 22 ammo there is. You can see my, you won't be able to see it. It's really bad about getting lead deposits on you. It's really, really dirty. 22 ammo in general is pretty dirty. And like I said, 22 ammo in general is a really dirty ammo. It's basically mass produced. There's not a lot of quality control. However, you can get really good 22 ammo. I may put in the description or some of my what I would recommend if good ammo. But for what I do to go out here and just fuck around and shoot, I don't have to have $7 for 50 rounds for some like CCI stingers or anything. However, I would recommend that if you're going out to hunt with the pistol or a 22 rifle or something, you should use quality ammo. But the Remington Thunderbolt that I showed you a second ago, it's really bad about not firing when it is the primer struck. Anyway, after we have it cleared out here, we're going to go ahead and shoot the remaining, I think, 5 or 6 rounds here. And here we go. And I won't bother trying to let it focus in. Same thing as earlier. It struck the primer, didn't go off. Once again, shitty ammo. But that's what you get when you go with 22s. Like I said, you can get CCIs $50 for, or $50. The fuck am I trying to say? 50 rounds for $7. But who the fuck wants to spend that much? I believe I have some of the better ammunition over here that I was telling you about. Let's see here, right here. This is typically what I buy at Walmart. The Remington 550 here. You can see they kind of have somewhat of a goldish dust to them. Let's focus in. Maybe, maybe not. You see that there. And then this is the shitty Thunderbolt. They're both made by Remington. The Thunderbolt typically is a couple dollars less. Did you see him here? I went ahead and moved the tripod over here I spoke to you a little bit earlier about a little tab wearing your thumb down. I just kind of wanted to show you how the magazines work. It does have a spring inside of here. This is the tab that you pull it down, you'll see the bullets drop. You have to pull that down in order to free the top and drop them in. And what I was basically saying was hundreds and hundreds, 1,000 rounds later, however you choose to shoot, continually taking your thumb and pulling this down will take a toll on the skin. And you would think for a .22 caliber round that it wouldn't be typically that hard to pull down, but Ruger made the springs pretty stiff for it. Like I said in another video, I'll show you guys a Speedloader. It costs about 20 bucks, and it's probably the best $20 of anything weapons related I've spent. This typically takes maybe 6 seconds, 7 seconds to load. You can basically dump a bulk in the Speedloader, and you stick it in, just and it's done. It takes maybe, I mean, seriously, maybe 2 seconds once you get the hang of it. But my uncle, Mike, if you're watching this, I looked for your Speedloader, but I couldn't find it. But nevertheless, just playing the hand I was dealt. Alright, here we go. It is getting kind of dark here. I'll turn this around. Excuse me. At the 50-yard mark. That is a Krylon spray paint can. I will attempt to shoot that off. No promises that I'll actually hit it. Like I said, the red dot isn't sighted in. And I know some of you are watching and probably like, alright, well, you lazy fuck, why don't you just go ahead and take 10 minutes out of your day and sight it in? But I didn't. So anyway, I will try to compensate from where I know to hold. And here we go. Give you just a sec. I'm not for sure if that hit it or just grazed it, but I will unload the rest of them at the 8-inch circle at 50 yards. And that sucked. I just want to go ahead and wrap this up. Conclude this is the Ruger Mark III 2245 with an ugly stainless steel, soon to be. I'll put my blued one on there. Rail, a Bushnell. I think it's a TR25. Like I said, the 2245 with 1911 grip angle, 5-inch, maybe it's 5 1/4 inch bull barrel. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up. I want to, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions about the pistol or anything that was in the video, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And thank you guys for watching. Thanks.